Pinoy Kapalaran, Pinoy Kapalaran, oh, Pinoy Kapalaran.
Magandang araw mga ka-Zodiac! Welcome sa ating segment na Lucky Lotto Numbers. Halina't alamin kung ano ang swerteng numero para sa araw na ito base sa Zodiac sign mo. Kaya mga ka-Zodiac, good vibes lang at palaging maging positive ang mindset. Huwag rin kalimutang magdasal sa taas para sa dagdag na swerte. Kunin na ang inyong papel at lapis at baka ikaw na ang susunod na lotto winner.
Habang pinapanood natin ang ating mga lucky numbers, heto naman ang isang inspiring story na pampagood vibes sa inyong lahat.
Eric, 40, had been working as a traffic aide in Ngayong for over a decade. Each day, rain or shine, he stood at intersections guiding vehicles, blowing his whistle, and waving his arms to keep the city's chaos moving. It was tough work, long hours under the heat, smog, and downpours, but it helped feed his family and put his 2 children through school. He earned a modest salary, just enough to cover basic needs. Sometimes, during break time, he would rest near a sidewalk stall and chat with jeepney drivers. On one of those afternoons, he bought a lotto ticket using the loose change from his lunch allowance. It was something he did occasionally, not out of expectation, but out of hope. One night, after getting home from a double shift, Eric sat down with a cup of instant noodles and turned on the small TV in their living room. The lotto draw had just finished, but the winning numbers were displayed on the screen. He reached for his ticket out of habit, expecting nothing. But as he read each number aloud, his hands began to tremble. All 6 numbers matched. He had just won 60 million. He stared at the ticket in disbelief. He called his wife, who was putting their youngest to sleep, and showed her. At first, she thought he was joking. But when she saw his face, pale, stunned, and speechless, she knew this was real. Their lives were about to change. Eric claimed his prize at the lotto office the next day, quietly and without drawing attention. He wore his traffic aide uniform, the same one he had worn for years. When the check was handed to him, he held it like a newborn child, with care, awe, and gratitude. With his winnings, Eric paid off every debt they had and purchased a modest home in a safer, quieter part of the city. He set up an education fund for his children, who no longer had to worry about whether they could finish school. His wife, who used to sew clothes part-time, opened a small tailoring shop of her own. He didn't forget the people he worked with. Eric gave gifts to fellow traffic aides, new raincoats, shoes, and even helmets for those directing traffic on busy roads. "We all stood under the same sun and rain," he said. "This blessing should reach them too." Though he no longer needed the job, Eric returned to the intersection one last time. Not to work, but to thank the vendors, drivers, and fellow aides who had shared the daily grind with him. They cheered, clapped, and laughed, proud to see one of their own finally catch a break. Eric didn't seek luxury. He didn't need to travel abroad or buy expensive things. What he valued most was the quiet, the kind that came from no longer fearing tomorrow. For the first time in years, he could walk his children to school without checking his wallet first. To many, Eric was just a man who waved cars through a crowded street. But now, he stood as a symbol of something more. That even among noise, dust, and the daily rush, hope can still pass by, stop at your feet, and change everything.
Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood at laging tandaan, hindi hawak ng mga bituin ang ating kapalaran. Gabay lamang ito. Meron po tayong wisdom at free will na pwede nating gamitin. Sa mga hindi pa po nag-subscribe, i-click lang ang subscribe button, pati na rin ang bell icon para lagi kayong updated sa ating daily horoscope.